Today's lecture is about an essay, The Great God Gun. The essay is written by A.G. Gardiner and it is presented by Shafakus Sahar. In this essay, the writer describes that human beings are actually in the adoration or worship of war. They like war so much that they are using all their resources from nature and technology to create war instead of peace. This name is actually a satire. Satire means thinking of something that is old and a classic and talking about something new which is actually the shadow of that thing, and it makes fun of it in a very serious vein. The satire on mankind's adoration of war. Here, the writer has tried in his essay to show that mankind loves to make war, although they show that they are actually very much peace lovers, but this is wrong when we practically see the attitude. There was a book of fiction. The name was The Great God Pan. Pan is the god of jungle in Greek mythology, and it is shown half man, half beast. Pan is shown to be a person or with a personality that does not believe in any custom or ritual or, of course, religion. This book shows that in the modern times, even gods and goddesses are there, and actually they are very much active, although they are not real, but in our brains they are active and they are constantly affecting our lives. So how come that if the god of the jungle can affect our lives, the god of war does not? So the god of war, Jang ka Devta, should exist as well. The essay echoes the title of a work of fiction that shows an ancient god still lurking in the modern world with his disturbing presence. The presence of Pan is really very disturbing in this book. So in the same way, when we read the essay, we feel very disturbed by the presence of the god of war there, actually which is shown in a factory where the arms and weapons are made. The writer does not show any person, but he seems to implicate that the person behind all that war is inside the brain of human beings. The three pictures show some gods of the ancient times. When the people did not believe in heavenly religions, they did believe in the gods and goddesses. And in some parts of the world, people still believe in them. Here on the left side, the big picture is of god Ares or Mars, who was the god of war in Greek and Roman mythology. He is shown like an alpha male, a tall human being, and his eyes are very angry, and he is shown with the colors of red and black. That shows his fury and anger, and these colors are also the colors of war. In the another picture, there is a horse's chariot and a god is driving it. In our essay, the writer discusses the role of the chariot, that a god of war is coming on a chariot. So it would be a scene like this one that has been shown here. The third picture down there shows a monster that is very large, very big. It is in the depths of the sea and it is coming out to eat a person who is in a ship. And that boat is so little compared to that animal. Animal's name is Leviathan. This is a legendary animal, not a real one. And there is a book written in the past in English literature that is named Leviathan. So this thing is not real, but again the writer compares the madness for war to Leviathan because it is as dangerous for humans, as destructive as the monster is. The writer shows that the great god Gun, the god of war, is being born from the fire. He is actually mimicking or copying the idea in the Greek mythology that Aphrodite, who was the goddess of love, she was born from the sea foam. And as you see that the scene in which she is shown being born, is very peaceful. The colors are very soft, and a very beautiful person comes out of a very big oyster. She is the goddess of love and beauty. When we compare her birth to the birth of the great god Gun, we see that great god Gun is born out of fire, and there is all around smoke there, and there is no living creature there, there is no beauty, there is only horror. So the writer wants to point out that the past gods were actually beautiful and peaceful compared to the great god Gun that the modern world is worshipping. This is Woolwich Armory. The writer shows the location that the great god Gun is being born in this armory. This is a factory where the weapons are made. Woolwich factory is situated in England. It was notorious in World War I and II. World War First and Second, mostly the weapons were made there, and obviously weapons are very dangerous, very destructive. Because of those weapons, a lot of people were killed. So this place becomes the birthplace of the great god Gun, according to the writer. Arms are made with molten metal, and molten metal is always burning hot, looks like lava, like a river of fire. That is why the location here in our essay shows a place that is full of fire, like a pit, and it is giving out the smoke and also flames, and it looks a very horrible place like hell. The writer shows that the great god Gun is born. He is born in a arms factory where the arms and weapons are made. He shows a scene that there are many cylinders and there are a lot of machines and all the technology is being used. Then there is a lot of fire, and out of that fire come flames and black smoke. And from that fire, the great god Gun is born. He means that out of that fire, war, destruction, battle, and killing and horrors are born. Actually, there is no person like great god Gun. He is symbolizing war by that name. That the war, if it is like a person, would be called the great god Gun. The process of making arms to spread death is depicted like birth of a god here, and we will compare it to the birth of Aphrodite, that how a beautiful human being comes out of the sea waves and she spreads love and beauty all around. And here in the modern world, the god worshipped by the modern world is great god Gun, and he is born out of fire, and he only sows destruction and madness and horrors of war all around. These are some real pictures from the Woolwich factory. We can see that there are a lot of cylinders. The writer also shows that there is many machines, and brass is used mostly to make the weapons. He also shows that the ceiling of the place where the great god Gun is being born is very high, and it is not a flat ceiling, it is a vaulted ceiling. That means a place that has a structure around it, and that structure comes down to earth to give support to the roof. So we can see that really the roof of this place is not a flat roof, it is a vaulted roof. There are many pillars and also the sticks of iron that are supporting it. So this is compared to a church, like people go to church for worship and there's a high roof there. In the same way, in this factory, the great god of war is being born, and its roof also looks like that of a cathedral, of a church, of a place that can be called a place of worship. The writer uses the symbols of furnace and the fire. You know that symbolism means that you take a thing as a symbol of something that is not a concrete thing, that is an abstract thing. A concrete thing will be there to symbolize something that is abstract. An idea is shown like a thing. So furnace and fire here symbolize destruction and war. Process of making weapons is shown like a religious ritual. Just like people go to a church or a mosque or any other place to perform a ritual, in the same way there are many scientists who are here in the factory and they are creating the god of war. The author compares this to the rituals of pagan worship. pagan mean the people who worship idols, the gods and goddesses, the statues. The writer shows that this making of the weapons here is very close to that of the worshipping of the pagan people, the people who believe in gods and goddesses. And there is not much difference because the scientists are there and their behavior is very reverent and very respectful, as if they are in a holy place. Writer believes that these rites were harmless. The old people, the ancient people, when they were performing their religious rites, these were harmless when we compare them to the destructive process of making of the weapons in modern world, because in their rites they sometimes sacrificed an animal, and at the most violent sometimes they sacrificed one human. But here this destructive process is killing as many humans as possible because of the war and the weapons that are actually extremely dangerous for all humanity. Fire symbolism is taken as a negative force of destroying mankind. Fire can have two meanings. If the fire is in a kitchen, it is in a stove that is preparing food for others. If the fire is in a fireplace where in the winter people gather around, it is a positive symbol. But when the fire is used to make weapons, it would not be a positive symbol. It would be something very negative, something destructive, something that kills human beings. It does not nurture them. Now the look of the savage or the pagan worship was like that. Savages are the people who do not live in the civilization, in the cities. They live in the jungles or the wild places. And also they do not believe in the divine religions like Islam, Christianity, Judaism. They believe in the worship of statues. So how did the people worship who worshipped statues in the old times? You can see in the picture that very reverently, very respectfully they are collected and gathered around a statue, and one of them is asking something from the statue like a prayer, and the others are just standing there with their heads down. Modern man thinks he has come a long way. Modern man thinks that he is no longer a savage, a pagan, but he is wrong. The writer thinks that the people who believed in gods and goddesses were not savages. Actually, we, the modern people, are savages because they did not kill as many people. They did not believe in killing people in the way we do. So modern man is much, much worse than the savages of past times. The harm they did is nothing compared to the horror of a modern war. So they did not do much harm. They killed one or two people, or they killed some animals when they were worshipping. But can we compare it ever to the killing that happened in the World War I, World War II and the other wars? The writer shows that a crane is used for the making of the guns there, and the crane is carrying a bucket full of hot metal. Then it puts that metal into that mold and where the guns are being created. The writer shows that all the technology human beings have attained, they are using it only for the sake of destruction, and they are not using it for saving human lives that should have happened actually. The writer shows that natural resources are being misused. All of these resources, trees, mountains, earth, that have treasures, and the mankind can use them for the benefit of each other, while they are using it for killing others instead of saving them for positive things. All that the earth is producing, we are simply putting it like fuel into the great god guns, great pit of fire, and we are suffering because of it. The writer concludes that the war is evil. War should not be glorified. We should not say that war is sacred, or it is. We should not be actually trying to make war into something glorious, something to be expected, something normal. War is evil. Man should not worship the great god gun. That means that man should stop making weapons and fighting with each other and killing the others, which was the natural way, which was not the natural way ever. Thanks for watching. Best wishes for your exam.